as we get closer to that April 8th eclipse, it's almost as if we can see the beginnings of the Great Tribulation. Everybody's been well aware of the those who have been coming across our border who don't fit the typical case of somebody fleeing persecution. The expectation is somebody who is in persecution and is seeking refuge in the United States. That's not who we're talking about. Let's be very clear about who's coming across our border. These are military age men. They're coming across with, good designer clothes and backpacks. And the United States government is basically giving them money, housing, and doing something with them. So this is something to be aware of and pay attention to, because even when states step up in order to stop these individuals from coming in, the current administration, who we've said before seems to be associated with seal number 2, the one who's granted power to take peace from the earth and who's given a great sword, he seems to be fighting it back for some reason. To me, it seems like this is the setup for the Great Tribulation, something that could potentially pop off around April 8th. And I want to talk a little bit more about that April 8th and what the possibilities are. But do you have anything else in the news that you want to talk about before we get into that?
Yeah, there's lots of things that, because that's going to be a deeper topic. You're right. One thing that I saw today, which was really interesting, is Mar-a-Lago. Trump had what was called a replica of the Ark of the Covenant in his Mar-a-Lago estate. And it was fascinating. There was like 1,400 hours of labor put into it and some enormous amount of gold. What's interesting is, what if that is not a replica? I know the likelihood is not that it is, but I just found it odd that there was a picture of this in his Mar-a-Lago estate, and it looked identical. Not that I've seen the real thing, but according to what I've seen in the past and its description, why would he have a replica of the Ark of the Covenant? Is my first question.
Yeah.
It's the cost involved for something that large made out of solid gold. Now, I'm not insinuating by any means that he actually has the Ark of the Covenant, but what if he did? What if he did?
That would be interesting. I doubt it's the real Ark of the Covenant, because I know that if you're not permitted by God to be around it, it is known to destroy entire colonies of people. So I highly
Oh,
doubt that
for
that's
sure.
the legitimate Ark of the Covenant. To me, it says that there's I don't know. Just this goes again to looking at the fruit of Trump and seeing the way that he fights for Americans. He fights for good. I know that there's a lot of things that we could hold him accountable for based on what's been said about him. But this boils down to one of those things. It's just like, I'm not trying to pick sides per se. I'm just looking for, the people who are doing more right than they are bad. And during his administration, he did way more right for the world than he did bad. I mean, when you contrast it to what's going on right now, we have a full blown invasion coming across our borders. And he had all but had that taken care of. People were still coming across the border, but they were coming across legally. And they were people who we knew were safe and who were seriously looking for asylum. We can't say the same thing for those who are coming across the border right now. He was the first president to actually sit down and meet with, the leader of North Korea. I mean, that was monumental. He helped facilitate the Abraham Accords, which was, working towards a peaceful solution in the Middle East. And it's to no surprise that the current administration, the first thing they did was start to tear that stuff apart, tear down the wall, stop the production, stop peace agreements. I mean, Biden continues to give us evidence that he is his administration, and maybe even him, is that rider on the red horse who's taking peace. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if it's the legitimate arc, but I think it's a testament to who he is, and the fact that he has something like that seems to be a respectful gesture in my mind.
Yeah, I put the picture up on the screen just for a second, and you'll notice that there is a light reflection in a mirror, which is really interesting. Not sure if it's relevant. You'll see when you guys look at the picture. Yeah, so I'm not sold on that either. And frankly, I'm still kind of on the fence about him. I know that
Mm,
he has done a lot of good for the country. I just have this inner tug
I know
that,
that Operation Warp Speed is questionable.
well, no, that I don't
he
think it's that.
like he made the sword that was delivered to the current administration. So, I mean, one scenario, imagine he does win the election. He's extremely popular to be the nominee, and all the polls. I'm not talking all of a favored poll. All the polls have him well in the lead. So
Yeah.
there's a very high likelihood that he very well could win the office of the presidency. And maybe I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing him as being the one who persecutes the saints for 42 months. I can see the current administration persecuting the saints for 42 months. They've all out, but declared, the MAGA movement as terrorism. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I think what had me suspicious is when all of the folks that got in trouble with the January 6th event, a lot of people went to federal prison. And it did not seem like he tried to help by any means. And I'm not
mm,
saying that's his fault. I just found it odd that he didn't fight for these people or appear to fight for them. Now, again, guys, I know that we have a lot of Trump lovers here, and he's my pick as well. But I'm suspicious of everybody in power right now. So don't
yeah,
think of it as us taking sides. It's just we're in the end days, and the Bible is clear that there's going to be some serious deception.
mm,
So it just has me questioning everything and everybody. So don't
yeah,
take that the wrong way. I'm just, you know, and also my discernment has me just on the fence about it too, which is odd enough. But if I had to pick, I would definitely pick him over all the other options right now. He seems like he would be the best fit for what we have to choose from. And if you look at his history in the past, his track record with the last administration, we had phenomenal results. There was
yeah,
granted, there was a group of people that really despised him, and there was riots because of it. But I think that was all orchestrated by, specific people. But as far as the economy boomed. We were energy independent for the first time in American history. I mean, the list goes on and on. We didn't have any wars. All of the world leaders respected him and feared him. I
mm,
mean, the positivity list is a mile long. But again, I'm questioning everything right now because just something tells me to question everything. So we can move on. Hey, folks, thanks for being here. Again, we really enjoyed being with everybody. We go live every day except Friday night, Saturday night. Monday at noon, we go live with Dr. Sean Michael Greener. We appreciate everybody so much.